Her husband threw her out because she couldn't bear children. But the man who found her broken became the one who changed her destiny. Forever. Adeku had lived in Umoji, a quiet village wrapped in the smell of red earth and wood-fire smoke, for almost 8 years as a married woman. 8 years of waiting. 8 years of praying. 8 years of swallowing shame like bitter herbs. Every morning, the women at the stream would watch her pass and whisper behind their wrappers. Adeku is still empty. Maybe she offended the gods. A woman whose womb is silent is a woman whose home is shaking. Adeku pretended not to hear, but every word felt like a thorn buried deeper into her chest. Her husband, Okafur, once loved her, at least she thought so. He used to call her my sunshine. But with every year that passed without a child, his voice changed. First to silence. Then to irritation. Then to blame. Then finally, to a hatred so sharp she could feel it in the air before he even opened his mouth. He stopped eating her food. Stopped touching her. Stopped coming home early. At first, she begged him. Okafur, let us go to the hospital together, she had pleaded many times. But he always replied the same way. With whose money? You think I will waste money so you can hear them confirm what we already know? You are the problem. The day everything broke was a Sunday morning. The cock had barely crowed twice when Okafur entered the hut, his face hard like carved iron. Pack your things, he said. Adeku froze, her wrapper half-tied. What happened? He didn't even blink. My people have chosen a new wife for me. A fertile one. A woman who will give me children. Her breath caught in her throat. Okafur, after everything. After all these years. He didn't look at her. He didn't even soften. You can stay in the village if you want, but not in my house. And just like that, after 8 years of marriage, he walked away, leaving her standing in the middle of the mud house they once shared. She cried until her body shook, but the sky refused to cry with her. No rain. No thunder. No wind. Just silence. For 3 days, Adeku stayed with her aunt, Mama Yud, who lived at the edge of the village near the thick forest road. Mama Yud was stern but kind, the type of woman whose presence felt like both a slap and a hug. They have humiliated you enough, Mama Yud said as she roasted yam by the fireplace. Wipe your tears. The world has not ended. It feels like it has, Adeku whispered. That night, when she stepped out to get firewood, she saw him. A stranger. Tall, dark, broad-shouldered, with hands that looked like they could carry a palm tree. His clothes were dusty. A small cut bled near his eyebrow. And he leaned against a fallen tree as if exhaustion was dragging him to the ground. Adeku gasped. Hey. Are you alright? He lifted his eyes slowly. Gentle eyes, soft despite the sweat and dust. I'm fine, he said, but even his voice sounded tired. No, you're not, she replied. Sit down. Let me get you water. He hesitated, then nodded gratefully. She brought him a calabash of cool stream water. He drank like a man who had been fighting the sun all day. What happened to you? She asked. He wiped his mouth. My name is Obina. I'm a hunter from Yumidike. I was trailing a wounded bush animal through the forest and lost my way. Adeku's chest softened. There was something calm about him, something steady that felt like the opposite of everything she had known with Okafur. Mama Yu joined them, her eyes narrowing as she studied the stranger. A hunter, she said. Well, you can rest here tonight. But don't worry, my niece will not cook for you. She has suffered enough from men. Adeku felt her cheeks burn. Obina smiled slightly, and it was a warm smile that reached his eyes. I understand, he said quietly. I only need a place to regain my strength. As she spread a raffia mat for him on the veranda, his voice came again. Gentle, unexpected. You look like someone carrying too much pain alone. She almost dropped the mat. No one had ever said that to her. No one had ever seen her like that. Her heart fluttered, confused, wounded, unsure why a stranger's kindness felt so heavy. She turned away quickly. Rest. We will talk in the morning. But as she walked into the hut, she couldn't shake it. The strange pull. The warmth in her chest. The feeling that a new storm was coming. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that brings rain after a long drought. When dawn broke, a soft mist covered Umuoji. Birds chattered above the thatched roofs, and smoke curled from distant cooking huts. Adiku stepped outside quietly, hoping not to disturb Obinna. But he was already awake, sharpening a hunting knife on a smooth stone. "Good morning," he said, giving her a small smile. She nodded shyly. "Did you sleep well?" "Yes," he said. "Better than I have in a long time." Something warm fluttered in her chest. She quickly looked away. Just then, Mama Yud shouted for Adiku to help her pound cocoyam. As they walked, Mama Yud leaned close. "You see that man outside? That one has eyes that notice too much. Be careful." Adiku sighed. "Mama, he is only passing through." Mama Yud scoffed. A man who looks at a woman like that is not simply passing." Before Adiku could respond, a loud knock thundered on the door. It was Okafur. His face was twisted with anger, his jaw tight. "So this is where you've been hiding? With a man?" Adiku froze. Mama Yud stepped in front of her, arms folded like a shield. "And if she is here? You chased her out. Or have you forgotten?" Okafur pushed past them, scanning the compound. His eyes landed on Obinna. "So this is him." Obinna stood up slowly, calm, but alert. "I am only a traveler. Don't involve me in your—" "Shut up." Okafur barked. "Do you think I don't know your type? You see a vulnerable woman and you want to use her." Obinna's eyes sharpened not with anger, but with protectiveness. Adiku felt her throat tighten. For 8 years, Okafur had never defended her. This stranger, who barely knew her, stepped beside her like she was worth protecting. Obinna spoke softly but firmly. "You abandoned her. You threw her out. You lost every right to raise your voice at her." The whole compound fell silent. Okafur trembled not with fear, but humiliation. His voice dropped into a dangerous tone. "If I ever see you near her again, Hunter, your blood will water this soil." Then he stormed away. Adiku's heart was beating like a drum inside her chest. She whispered, "Thank you, but now he will hate me more." Obinna looked at her carefully. "I don't care about his hatred. What I care about is your safety." No man had ever said such words to her. By evening, the entire village was boiling with rumor. Adiku has found a new man. The hunter is her lover. Okafur is planning something. Whispers twisted into poison. Some villagers sneered at her. Others avoided her. Okafur's new young wife strutted around like a queen, spreading tales. Who knows? Maybe that hunter is the father of the children she never gave my husband. Adiku cried alone that night. She didn't want trouble. She didn't want a war. She only wanted peace. But peace had rejected her long ago. 2 days later, the village square gathered for the elders' meeting about a stolen goat. Obinna stood at one corner. Adiku sat quietly under a tree. Okafur arrived late drunk, staggering, pride swollen like a boy ready to burst. When he saw Obinna standing beside Adiku from a distance, something snapped inside him. He marched forward, fist clenched. "You think you can take my wife?" he shouted. Adiku gasped. "I am not your wife anymore." The village fell silent. Okafur grabbed her arm roughly. "Let us go home now." Obinna stepped between them. "Remove your hand." Okafur laughed mockingly. "Or what?" Before Obinna could answer, Elder Madu, one of the oldest men in the village, stood up. "Okafur, leave this woman alone," he warned. "We have seen how you treated her." Another elder added, "And we also know the truth about your fertility matter." The crowd gasped. "Truth? Whose truth?" Okafur paled. What are you talking about?" Elder Madu sighed deeply. 5 years ago, you came secretly to me and confessed your shame that a childhood sickness left you unable to father a child. You made me swear to keep it quiet. Adeku felt the ground tilt beneath her. Her ears rang. Her heart stopped. Obinna stared at Okafur with disbelief. "You blamed her for what you knew was your fault." The square exploded with murmurs. Okafur fell to his knees, shaking. It was the shame, the humiliation. "I couldn't bear it." Tears ran down his face. But the damage had been done. He had destroyed a woman for a sin she never committed. He had broken her spirit to protect his ego. Adeku's tears fell not for him, but for herself. For the 8 years of pain she had carried without reason. She whispered, voice trembling. "You threw away your marriage because you feared the truth. You made me carry your cross." Okafur reached for her feet, begging. "Adeku, forgive me, come back." She stepped away gently but firmly. "No." Obinna moved beside her, not touching her, but standing close enough that she felt guarded. For the first time, Adeku lifted her head fully. For the first time, she felt seen. For the first time, she felt whole. Weeks passed. Okafur left the village in shame, too embarrassed to live among those who now knew his truth. Adeku rebuilt her life slowly with strength, dignity, and peace. And Obinna remained in the village longer than he had planned. He helped the farmers harvest, repaired broken fences, and became a friend to everyone. One cool evening, he walked with Adeku along the winding bush path. The air smelled of fresh rain. "You deserve joy," he said softly. "You deserve a man who cherishes you." She smiled for the first time in a long while. "And what if that man is you?" she whispered. Obinna stopped walking. His eyes softened. "I will never promise you children," he said. "But I will promise you love. The kind that holds, that heals, that never shames." Her heart answered before her lips did. That night, Umoji witnessed a sunset so golden people said it was a blessing. And in that golden light, Adeku finally found what she had been denied for years. Peace. Choice. And a love that didn't need a child to be complete. Marriage is not complete without love, respect, and honesty. A home built on blame and shame can never stand. Infertility is not a curse and it should never be a weapon. Blaming one partner destroys both. Sometimes the person who breaks you is simply making space for the person who will heal you. Never hide the truth. Secrets destroy more than they protect. A woman's worth is not tied to her womb. Her dignity is not negotiable. When someone chooses to leave you because of a weakness you didn't choose, thank them. They are too small for the blessing God is preparing ahead. Thanks for watching this story. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications bell for more stories like this.